I'm Norm Schrein, Information Radio, and I'm with Coach Lance Schneider, head coach of the Miamisburg Vikings. Make sure I had that right first. Always embarrassing to come up with the right coach for the wrong team.
Yeah.
So I got 6 questions for you.
All right.
First of all, how did you deal with the odd situation last Friday, finding out hours before the game against Springfield that the game was going to be postponed?
Well, it's definitely a different situation because usually you're in game mode by the time you get to school on Friday. And, our kids were out that day, so, I was kind of dealing with it pretty much all morning. And, once we decided that we weren't going to be able to play them, that, then getting the information out to the kids and the parents and all that stuff. And, nobody was happy about it, but it was the best thing for, what happened. And the kid ended up being positive anyway, so. We definitely made the right decision.
And how does not having played that game after your preparation how does that alter your preparation for Fairmont?
No, it really doesn't alter it much at all because, two vastly different teams offensively. So, we just look at it as we practiced to get better last week, and it just gave us another opportunity to, kind of slow down and take a look at Fairmont and on the weekend and be ready to go this week.
Tell us about your new quarterback, junior Justin Berry, who has thrown for 450 yards in the first 2 games of this season. In what areas has he been particularly impressive?
Well, Justin's very intelligent, so he understands the offense very well and knows where to get the ball and makes all the right decisions. And he's been doing a great job of that right now. And his job more is just to get the ball to our playmakers and make sure he doesn't make any mistakes that are going to get us beat, and he's done a fantastic job of that in our first 2 games.
What can you tell us about his receiving corps, specifically senior Colin Ivey and sophomore Jackson McGowan?
Colin's a very fast kid. Played, both of those guys played for us last year and got a year under their belt in our system, and they really understand it a lot better this year. And Colin's one of the guys that gets the ball in space, and he can do some great things with it. And Jackson's 6'4", so there's very few corners in the league we feel that can match up with him just because of his height. And he does a really good job of going up and getting the ball and using that to his advantage.
And how do you develop more of a running game, considering only 55 yards on the ground against Wayne?
Well, that stat actually got changed a little bit just because we had a couple bad snaps that cost us about 50 yards of offense. So really we rushed for over 100 against them. But, we felt like we played well against them. We just made a couple mistakes that, that hurt us in the long run. And, anytime you're in a tight game and you make 2 more mistakes than the other team, that's going to cost you. But, I think we're really good up front, and our kids do a great job of, communicating to each other and working our zone schemes well. And, Christian Davis, our running back, was the best player for us last year on our offense as a freshman. So, we feel like, he's an advantage that we have.
And finally, evaluate your defense so far, led by first-team all-GWalk lineman Spencer Harger, back for his senior season.
Our defense is much improved over last year. It seems like they're more in tune with what we want to try to do on that side of the ball. And, Spencer and Brock Harris are our 2 defensive tackles. We're very, very strong up the middle, and, those guys have done a great job of leading our defense. And when you're good up the middle, you got a chance of being pretty decent. And, overall we played pretty well in the first 2 games.
Let's talk for a second about your fan base. You're limited to 200 spectators at this away game. How do you ration out your tickets for something like that?
Every player gets 2 tickets, and every manager and cheerleader and them also get 2. So it eats it up pretty quick, but it is what it is, and our kids just have to abide by it, and the fans have done a good job with it so far.
Okay, Coach. Well, thanks for taking the time for speaking with me, and have good luck on Friday.
All right, thank you.
I'm with Coach Dave Miller, and we're in week 4 of the regular football season. So I want to recap a little bit on the Springfield game first. What are your impressions about the defense, considering they had only allowed Springfield to get 163 total yards and 7 first downs?
We're playing well over there. I mean, that's not a real issue. I mean, our first series was kind of the worst I've seen us play in a while. They did some things too to make us look that way, but the overall energy on that first drive was not good. But after that, things settled down. We did a really nice job at a goal line stand, and we turned the ball right back over. So, our issues are not. We just keep finding ways to beat ourselves. I mean, I think we're playing sound enough on defense and really sound enough on offense to get some wins. But right now, special teams is a real problem, and we've committed. Like I said a couple weeks ago, we've committed a lot of time and effort into that. But we're just doing too many stupid things right now, to beat good teams.
So in Sunday's Dayton Daily News, there was a feature article about Toli Kabiki and his background of learning the game of football. What has he meant to your team?
Oh, he's a great kid, right off the bat. I mean, just super personality, great attitude. When you start looking into his past and what he's dealt with, I mean, I think he appreciates things more than the average kid, because of what he's been through. So he has an infectious personality. In 2 years, he is not even 2 years, really. It's a year and a half of playing American football. He's picked the game up very well, and last week he had a nice game. I think he's continuing to get better, and I think the kids really feed off of him, and like I said, it's infectious.
Unfortunately, another kickoff return for a touchdown was allowed. What drills can you try this week to alleviate that?
Well, first of all, don't kick to a kid that is probably the fastest kid in Southwest Ohio. His brother's playing in Minnesota, so he had some speed. We talked about not doing that, but somehow it ended up right in his hands. And as soon as I saw it in his hands, I pretty much told Coach Schwartz, I was on the phone with him, I said, that's a touchdown, and sure enough. Our coverage has got to get better. I mean, our kicker is good enough to put the ball where we really want it. Now, that was not probably the best choice there, but we're trying to figure out ways to keep it out of the hands of some of these athletes that we face, but we have to do a better job, getting down and covering. And like I said, we've committed a lot of time and effort into our special teams. We got to do more.
Have you ever, in the first half of a game, gone for it on 4th down on your own 10-yard, and what message does that send to your offensive line?
I've told them the way we operate is we get in a situation like that, I have confidence that we're going to get a first down, and the kids know that, and I think it says a lot. It's a belief in them, and that we can go do that. I never wavered. I think at that point, just find out what's the yardage we need, and percentage-wise, it kind of works in our favor. But we've been pretty good at that, so that was not a big deal. It was the play after that really got us. We ended up getting the first down, and all we had to really do was, get a couple plays there, and the half is over, and we go in 14-7. But we fumbled, and that makes it really difficult to win games when you're doing that.
And looking ahead to Miamisburg, your impressions on the new signal caller in Justin Berry?
Yeah, he's a good quarterback, and a little different style than the kid from last year. But the Schneiders do a great job. Their Mike is, I was a high school player. Lance and I graduated the same year, so he played at Wayne, I played at Centerville, and we played in a championship battle, week 10. So Mike's been around a while, and Lance is a good coach. They have a great staff with them. Eric Gillespie is their defense coordinator. So, they're in year 2, from really switching from a wing T to what they're doing now, they really have improved a lot, and they're scary, with what they do.
All right. The whole idea of the visiting team having 200 fans, that's on the other team split this time.
Right.
What do you get to bring in as a home team?
We bring in 900, and that includes, really our seniors get more tickets than our underclassmen, which is the way it should be. So they each get, 2+ basically, and then our band gets another 2. We have 260 some members of the band, and then some other ones just kind of thrown in there. So we get 900 at home, and the GWalk agreement was that each visiting team gets 200. So that's our capacity right now.
Well, you should have a bigger fan base this week then, for sure.
Yep.
And good luck Friday.
Thank you. Appreciate it.